Hello, welcome to Joey on Wheels. I am Joey and I am on wheels. So it is July 27th today, and I'm just in the midst of uploading the video for this channel for a few weeks and the video for my other two channel, which I've just, made. It's been a long morning and I've only been downstairs since like 4 a.m. It's more just because everything has been extra slow since for some reason Mondays, when it comes to like getting stuff sorted on my computer, things are just extra slow, and it's kind of annoying me because normally I get up really early on Mondays and I record, and depending on when B/carer is due in at work, I have a lot of time to myself basically. So today she's working day shift, is what I call day shift, which she calls mid shift, which basically means a normal day, kind of, or the days that were normal when she first started. So she's just left for work. It's about 7ish, like I said, but I feel like last week when she was on earlies, I got more done in the literal hour that I had with before she went to work than I did in the 2 hours that I had this morning. It's just been a lot. I did sort of like plan to, or I usually do on Mondays, I make my own squash when I run out and such, and it just means that then I can hopefully get a bit of walker action and stuff like that. I got up to do it today and my whole body was like, yeah, you do this. We are going to be on the floor, and we are going to be on the floor for a long period, and then the paramedics are going to have to come out to get me off the floor, and then it's going to cause more pain. And it's just like, or I could wait until B gets up and just ration my squash until then, which I did. It was fine. Everything was fine. There was no falling happening. But yeah, my back, my neck, my spine are just not happy with me right now, which, I'm kind of getting used to. Mink is being like extra pesky. I think only like last week's vlog, she was the same. She was kind of like, she's worked out that when I'm recording on my phone, it means I am literally about to get in the magic box. And so she comes very much demanding. She's been doing it though since I came down this morning. So I think it was also, she thinks I'm going to feed them, which if I cannot even stand up to walk, that's not going to happen, kitten. But yeah, she keeps like, oh, I hop on your lap now, and then I definitely get to ride the magic box. I mean, she did last week several times. So yeah. Plan for this week is basically a few days of work because it's the end of the month. So I get a day off, I think, at the end. I have a procedure on Wednesday. And then I have a phone appointment with the physio for assessment that I kind of feel like I've already had, but oh well, on Friday. So yeah, we're just going to see how things go. I feel like physio is a good step to basically trying to maybe get some of the pain under control. But I'm not sure how it's going to work getting there and back and such, because it needs to be at the hospital. I don't know whether I can reliably get there week after week or whatever. So it's going to be a bit of juggling, but I'm sure we'll find a way. I only just clocked on to the idea of, hey, if I use one browser to upload my Joey on Wheels videos, and I use another browser, a different browser, to upload my other two videos, maybe I can do both at the same time. And I feel really dumb for like not thinking of that like weeks ago. But yeah, that's just my brain fog and my lack of thinking. So yeah, I'm going to finish up. I've just got to wait for the video for this channel to upload. Then I can caption the video for AuthorTube, and then I can go up to bed. So yeah, because pain is bad today, and I'm struggling. Yeah, I know I've been struggling for like a week or more, but really feeling it right now. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm going to get on with the rest of this work and then wrap up and then go to bed and just hopefully be okay. So yeah, I will see you in the next one. Hello, it is still Monday. It's still July 27th, but I wanted to give you a bit of an update. I apologize if I sound like I've got a cold.
It's not, it's just something my body does from time to time. Though I may have a cold coming because B did have one coming last week. So, hopefully it's just my body doing the thing it does sometime. But I wanted to give you an update because I think last week's vlog talked about how basically the phone conversation I had with my GP last week wasn't that productive. And so I was kind of left feeling like I was being told, just live with it all. We don't know why the hand and arm happened for sure. And that's a you problem. So yeah, that wasn't ideal. And then I basically talked with B. I did some research online over the weekend because what my GP was saying was that he would be okay to refer me to neurology, but he doesn't actually think there's anything they can do. I pretty much agree with that. He doesn't want to refer me to spinal because he doesn't think that that's the next option. And, gabapentin and stuff like that had been increased. He raised the issue basically of me seeing someone at the pain clinic. My experiences with the pain clinic, and I will make it clear, this was like 20 years ago, were very negative. And I have seen a lot of like chronic illness people, especially those with chronic pain, who have had a similar experience to mine. But, like I said, this was 20 years ago. And at this point, we're not really focusing on all of my pain. We're focusing on the nerve side of things. So, because of that, and because I know B will be there to literally advocate for me if I need to, I ended up phoning the surgery about 10 o'clock this morning. And I was just like, hey, could you let the doctor know that I'm actually okay with a referral to the pain clinic? And I figured, it didn't really need another appointment. We discussed everything on Friday. So I got the notification that the neurology referral has started. It's the way things work here. We have an app called the NHS app, and sometimes you can see things like referrals or upcoming appointments and stuff like that. It's actually quite useful. It really became a big thing during COVID because a lot of people had no other way to get repeat prescriptions, and I was on shielding for like 4 years. It also took me like 4 years before I actually even caught COVID. So, but anyway, yeah, so I can see that he referred me to neurology, and then I got another notification and he's referred me to the pain management team. Looking online at waiting times and stuff, our local trust does not have the best waiting time or waiting list, but we'll see. I may go ahead of other people because of just how urgent it is, but I don't know. I genuinely don't know. If I go to the pain clinic, it also opens up things like steroid injections and nerve blocks and stuff like that through their service. If obviously things go to a point where they can't treat me, then they can suggest, or they can internally refer me to the spinal team. So, hopefully it's going to be a good thing. And if it's not, then oh well, it was worth a shot. My main concern at the time was that with my experience of pain clinics and with my experience of like seeing other chronically ill and disabled people, specifically in the UK, have a very similar experience, I was hesitant because the last time it basically boiled down to, well, if your pain is still bad while you were on this drug and this drug and this drug that are actually doing something, then we'll just take you off those drugs and put you on a drug that will do nothing. And it was very upsetting and it was very difficult. And it was because of the doctors in the hospital that I had that made it so that I was able to be put on more suitable drugs. So, yeah, it made it possible for my pain to be somewhat managed in a way that kind of like existed outside the pain management. But I'm on the list. I will see where it goes from there, and just it's a positive thing. It's a step forward. It was terrifying to make that phone call because I was worried that they'd be like, oh no, you have to come in and talk to the doctor. No, I spoke to him on Friday. I don't need to have a whole appointment for me to say, hey, that thing you suggested, which I said no to, I'd like to say yes. Yeah. So that was good. B knows that she will have to be present at every appointment with them until I feel either more safe and secure and heard or otherwise. So, yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update. This week is going to be mostly things like catching up with the end of the month stuff. Like I said, I have a hospital thing on Wednesday, I have a phone appointment with physio on Friday. So it's mostly just going to be about making sure that things work. Also, I still have to continue filling in the let prove you're disabled again thing and send that back. My deadline for that is the end of this week, as in my deadline. I have more time if I need it, but I'm already really anxious because they sent me a text that went, hey, if you've not returned it, you need to phone us. This is like, when I finally calmed down and read the text, it was actually, if you've not returned it by the date on the letter, and I'm nowhere near that date. Well, I am quite near that date, but it's not there yet. So, yeah, it's just I really wish that they wouldn't do that because, yeah, that's not fun. But in good news, it's also B's birthday on Sunday, so I'm not really sure what we're doing, but we will be doing something fun. So, yeah, I will catch you later.
Hello, it is July 29th. I planned to take you along because I had a medical procedure today. All went well, all was fine, but basically it's hot, and I'm tired, and I just didn't record in the car basically. I did the last revisions for the month. Tomorrow I have to write blog posts and then I'm done for the month. So I basically end up getting a 3-day weekend. And on Sunday it is my BFF and carer's birthday. So we have to, like, do things. It's going to be fun. My focus right now is getting back in bed and, kind of relaxing for a bit. I am in a little bit of pain from the procedure, but it's so minor that I could probably just wait to take paracetamol and it would be fine. So, yeah. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you an update and I will catch you later. Hello, it is July 30th. I am just finishing up my work for the day. I've had to do blog posts, and because it always takes a long time, I have 2 more to do. I've done 3 already. So I am over halfway, which is when I stopped because I was just like, I need a bit of a break. And I wanted to fill you in on all the stuff that's happened because yesterday I meant to record in the car either going to the hospital or coming back from the hospital. But it was hot. I was stressy. So we just decided, I think I recorded a clip when I got home upstairs, but it was very short because no one knew that I was recording and I didn't want someone to come in and yeah. So yeah, yesterday I had a procedure that basically it was about, Mink. It was about doing Botox in my bladder because of my calf. It was really good. I was kind of told by the urologists that I'd seen before. One was like, oh, we do this under general, but we can probably do it under a local. And I was like, yeah, it's going to have to be a local because no anaesthetist is going to sign off on me having a general right now or ever probably. And then the next, so we had tried tablets first. Tablets worked to a degree, but not as much. And so the next urologist that I saw, like on the follow up, he was basically like, oh no, you can't have a general. There's no other way we can do it. And I was like, I was told I could have it under a local. And he sort of hummed and ahhed for a while. And then he went, yeah, okay, we can give it a go. Anyway, this was all before the sepsis. That was, I think I saw him back in April last year. So, I kind of just assumed that it either wasn't going to happen or, yeah. But then they phoned a few weeks ago and were like, hey, would you like, yep, we would like that, thank you. Yeah, so it was fine. Little bit of discomfort, but that was right towards the end. And after that, it was like, okay, I don't know what the fuss was about. I don't know whether it was a different procedure because it wasn't like under a general. I don't know. But the plan basically is, hello, Mink. to see how it goes. I have a follow-up in 3 months, and if it works or whatever, then they will continue doing that over periods, basically, because I'm gonna have a cat probably for the rest of my life, and we'd like to, make things as comfortable as they can be. So yay, that's done, that's over with. My next appointment is tomorrow, but it's a phone appointment. And then basically, once I finish the blog post today, I'm done for work for the month at least. Anyway, I'm not just done. I quit now. Yeah, no. Mink. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and get ready and get finished with my work. It's now 7:15 a.m. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can get on with my work and get up to bed before too much longer, because I need a nap, and I just want to check in with some people and stuff like that. Mink, yeah. So I will speak to you later. Hello, it's July 31st, and because it's the end of the month, and because this month worked out well for me, I have a day off. So I am just catching up on YouTube, I am doing bits and pieces, I'm snuggling with the Mr. Dash. Mister. Yeah, he came to see me, he had things to say, so I thought I'd show him off on camera, because he's such a goody boy. Yeah, you're such a good boy. But yeah, I spoke to the physio team today, and they've basically decided that I may actually be eligible for home physio. So what she wants me to do is come in next Friday, because it's a MIPO day, which means B will be off work. And then basically go from there and do an assessment, see what works. She was asking, what is the thing that is bothering you most? And I was like, this. So I don't know, because I was supposed to be referred to hand. It's a whole mess. Basically, my hand and arm really only get attention if I push for it, because the doctor I spoke to at my GP surgery originally, she was great. She was like, I have a plan, I have 4 steps, this is what we're going to do. And she did follow through. And basically since then, it's been me having to chase things, and it's not ideal. Like the OT, last time I spoke to her, she was like, oh, do you think hand therapy would be something you'd be willing to do? And I was like, yeah, I'm willing to do that. And come to find out that she did mention it to the physio department at the hospital, but she never followed through with a referral. So yeah, that's why I haven't heard anything from them, which sucks. But thankfully, this physio is kind of open to doing what needs to be done and doing the referral herself if she needs to. Like today was supposed to be a phone assessment, but because there are so many issues and it's really difficult to work out what the FND is causing and what is just a bonus gift thanks to sepsis, which it seems that there are a lot of those. So I feel like it was a good thing. I feel like it moved things along in a way that needed to be moved along. And yeah, I'm going to snuggle with a dash. I'm going to continue watching some YouTube. And yeah, I will probably speak to you tomorrow. Hi everybody, it is August 1st, so we are now into my 3rd month back at work. Because it's a Saturday, it's a day off. My Caribbean had to do some overtime today, so she's at work again. But it's her birthday tomorrow, so, she'll get some time off and then relax and recharge then. I'm basically just trying to sort out what works for me and what doesn't. So as an author, you probably guessed that I'm kind of a vicarious reader. I always have been, even before I was an author. I went through a period that because of my fibromyalgia, my hands found it difficult to hold a paperback or whatever for too long. It would usually be a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, and then the pain would start. And so reading wasn't as easy as it should be. And then when ebooks and the Kindle came out, I didn't go to it immediately, but when I saw one kind of not as expensive as I thought it would be, went for it, and basically I haven't looked back since. It allowed me to read a lot more books, it allowed me to enjoy a lot more books, it allowed me to bring reading back into my daily life. And I love it. I loved it. My first Kindle was one of the basic ones, and then my mum ended up buying me a Kindle Fire for Christmas, and since then I've pretty much always had some kind of Kindle, usually the Kindle Fire, usually the same size. So my old one, because I've had to buy a new one, my old one was several years old, and we found that it wasn't really holding its charge. I mean, like, it would be charged at 100%. I'd go to the hospital, I'd open it up to read on the same day, and it'd be like 21% battery. It didn't track. So we sort of thought, okay, we'll keep an eye on it. And I put the same kind of Kindle, the same kind of size on my wish list, just in case I needed to buy it. A few days ago, I went to use it and the battery was dead. And I thought, okay, we'll try plugging in a different cable in case that's the issue. It's dead. It's very, very dead. So I went back to my wish list. I thought, okay, this will be easy. I've done this before. I will just buy that one. Done. Boom, boom. It'll be here when it's be here. And I went to buy it, but they no longer sell them because basically, I guess the newest versions have come out and they've decided that version they don't want anymore. Anyway, I went to buy the next version up, and long story short, it only offered one type of case that was either black or pink. I'm not a black or pink person. I didn't want that. And there was also some issues with the Kindle itself anyway. But what I don't think I realized I mentioned was that basically I normally read between 300, 450 books a year. That's been my normal for a few years now. This year, with that old Kindle, I was really struggling. I was really struggling to read Hello Mink, to the point of I had to drop my Goodreads goal to 100 books, and I wasn't really sure I was going to make it. So it wasn't that I wasn't enjoying the books. I found it difficult. So anyway, back to the story. I ended up having to get the next size up, and I bought a case, all the rest of it. And when it arrived, got it set up, and then I realized something. I was struggling to read because I needed a bigger screen. I know that might not make sense because people would be like, you can increase the font size. I know, but I don't know why, but my brain needed a bigger screen. Even if the font size gets too big, I find it hard to concentrate and to read anyway. So increasing the font size on my 7 would not have helped. It would have just made it harder. I don't know why my brain's not my brain. So anyway, I got the huge one. I'm not very good at realizing, visualizing what a certain size will look like. I don't know what 10 inches look like. Why would I? Even if you put it in centimeters, because I live in the UK, still, no, I don't know what that means in the grand scheme of things. I'm not good at this stuff. My brain doesn't work like that. So basically, since I've had the new Kindle, my reading has increased massively, and I haven't changed what books I'm reading. So it wasn't even a change of book and that cured a slump. It was literally the same books that I was reading anyway. So I didn't realize, one of the things that sepsis did was change my eyesight. I'd had varifocals for the first time for about 6 months before the sepsis, and then basically afterwards, it took me a really long time to work out that the glasses were no longer working. I had a lot of headaches and stuff like that, but I hadn't clocked that my glasses needed changing until I was going back to work, and I realized that I could not read what was on my computer screen. I mean, it's at a bit of a distance, but not that much of a distance. And so, I went and got my eyes checked. And the sepsis had changed my eyesight to the point now that normally here they do every 2 years. I've been asked to do every year just to keep an eye on it. So it's one of those other things that basically the sepsis did whatever. It keeps giving me presents and I don't want them. So I survived sepsis. It tried to kill me, but it also seems to be the gift that keeps on giving. And could it not, please? Yeah, maybe, possibly. But that's basically all I had to say today. I wish it hadn't taken me so long, because I really, reading has always kind of been something that I can fall back on. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel seen.
It allows me to sort of like rest and recharge. And for like a long time, it's about 9-10 months now, I just couldn't. I just couldn't. My brain, when I was in the hospital, I had my Kindle. And for a long time, obviously I wasn't in a place where I could read. And when I was, it was the same kind of thing. Even though it was books that I am enjoying, it wasn't a slump. It was just that my brain would not connect, would not process it. And I hate that. I hate it. But hopefully with the new Kindle, I will go back to reading and I will enjoy it and all the rest. I also unfortunately have a toothache, so I'm thinking that I'm going to have to make a dentist appointment on Monday. And obviously with my carer working, it's not necessarily going to be easy to find an appointment that works. It's not like constant. It's only really, hey Mink, it's only really when like I eat or drink something. So I can't remember if it's one of the teeth that I had a filling in sometime this year. I don't know whether the filling has fallen out or something. Yeah. I will go to the dentist and hopefully they'll fix it. But I don't know how long it will take for them to have an appointment and for B to be able to get the time off work. So I have a kitten. I have a Dash on my bed. And I'm going to leave you there. So I will speak to you later. Hello, it's the 2nd of August, which is Bee's birthday. She is now as old as me, which is old. We also worked out that, or I worked out, that Mix K has been in our lives for half of them, which is a great way to make a person feel old. But yes, we have just been to town to stock up the snack drawer because it was devastatingly empty. And we're heading home on the road because thankfully this time I'm recording down this road. There's not everyone and his bloody wife trying to drive round. How dare they want to access the roads? So we're just going to the only good like drop curb that in this length. Otherwise it has in the past, one of my wheelchairs, it sheared off one of the casters, and that's something I don't want to repeat. Thanks. Yeah. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and all of that stuff while B bounces me over the road. And I will see you next week.